Pickup. There's a little tube socket rattling or something. You can hear a little high-end rattle throughout this video. Hey, I know that was a super long intro. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what this Benson amp sounds like. It's brand new, so the speaker is not broken in yet. Everything's just kind of getting broke in. It's definitely a different sound than the Fender. I'm getting used to it. I think it sounds really good. I'm just getting used to it, but it goes from a half a watt to 1 watt to 3 watts to 7 watts to 12 watts to 15 watts. So even at the highest setting, it's still a very low wattage amp. But I've got the volume on about 5.5 or 6 right there. So much louder than I normally play in this room with the little Princeton. The treble is on about 4. The bass is on about 3. No, the bass is on about 2, actually. Plenty of bass response. The reverb is on about 2.5, and the wattage setting that I was using just now is on 7. So that's 7 watts. That's a 7-watt amp right there, which, to be honest with you, I've never played through an amp that was 7 watts, I think maybe ever in my life. But man, I mean, what a hefty sound for, you know. Really loud for 7 watts, and it feels pretty good, man. It's got a good little, it's got a nice sag, a nice natural compression. Breakup.
of styles, but it gives you an idea of what this amp sounds like. I mean, it's really cool. It definitely got some natural compression, which I like, that kind of sag, right? Anyway, hey guys, look, man, thanks so much to the guys at Benson. I'm not doing this as an advertisement or anything. I just want to give you guys an idea. I'm just literally sitting here getting used to this amp for the first time. So I think it's very cool. I think it sounds really good. It feels really good, which is even more important to me most of the time, is how it feels and reacts to the guitar. And so I think when the speaker gets broken in a little bit, it's going to be very cool. So just wanted to share a little bit of that with you on this beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. I think I'm about to go down here and try to hit a couple golf balls, if you can believe that. But it's a beautiful excuse to get outside and just try to hit a couple balls in. I'm not a golfer, but funny enough, I did watch the Caddyshack documentary, The Making of Caddyshack. Man, I hope I don't have peanut butter stuck to my beard here. Anyway, yeah, watched the Caddyshack, Making of the Caddyshack last night on Netflix, man. That was pretty good. I love the fact that those guys kind of didn't really have a plan, and it all kind of came together and ended up being one of the most legendary movies of all time. Really cool how that came together. God, there was some other shit I was going to tell you guys, and I can't remember exactly what. It's been crazy around here. We've seen so many great projects come to fruition this year that I almost feel now like, I'm like, oh my God, what am I working on? There's no big project. We're working on a couple things that we're going to share with you guys soon. There's some really fun stuff coming up with Billy Gibbons and me and Book and Jed. We've got some gigs coming up and offers to come to Chicago. I think we're coming to Chicago in February. We'll keep you posted. We've got about 7 or 8 offers to come to some different cities, and we're going to handpick through those and find the right ones that make sense. But anyway, I was going to ask you, man, I took, I might have shared some of this with you guys already, but I took a drive last weekend way out into the country, up into Kentucky through the back roads, and saw the tobacco barns, and all the leaves are changing, and it's really beautiful up there. Got off into some real one-laner way back out in the farmland. I mean, way out where the buses don't run, as they say. But I was going to say, man, you guys that live out in the country, I think you might have it figured out. Man, it's getting crazy around here. This neighborhood I live in, when I first moved over here 7 years ago, it was cool, and there was a few cool things happening, but now it's just like, dude, it's gangbusters. They came in and put paid parking lots everywhere. There's people parking out on the street here that aren't supposed to be there. It's just like crazy, man. I'm turning into the grumpy old man, because things just aren't the way they used to be. No, I'm kidding, of course. I'm part of the problem. But, and I know it. I think it's really important to know where you fit into the food chain in life and with your guitar playing and with music. My job is not to sit here and make you feel insignificant on the instrument. I already feel insignificant on the instrument, living in Nashville, Tennessee, and I know where I fit into the food chain. But my job is not to sit here and try to make you feel insignificant on the instrument, because every one of you guys can make me feel way more insignificant in all the careers that you guys have. And so, I love that we all stay in our lane, and that's how shit gets done. But I think you guys that live out in the country have got it figured out, man. I loved going out there and just seeing a man, have a house with, hundreds of acres of farmland that nobody's bothering him out there. It's just, man, I mean, that's like, talk about being able to just go and take a deep breath and go, man, this is awesome. I think I could do it, man. Maybe not right now in my life, but I think later on in my life I might be looking at some land to get off the beaten path a little bit. But right now we're heavily on the beaten path. But anyway, I wanted to know how many people on this channel. Where do you live? Do you live? And I'm not asking for your address, of course, but I'm just wondering. Where do you guys live? Do you live in the city? Do you live in an apartment right downtown? Do you live in the suburbs? Do you live out in the country? Who's the most remote person on this whole thing, and who's the most urban person? Do we have somebody living in Manhattan on the 20th floor of an apartment building? Do we have somebody living in the middle of Alaska? Probably not, because you might not have internet there. I've been to Alaska a couple times. But just tell me where you live. Let's get into a little bit of, let's ask some questions on here and see where guys are living. I know this is not necessarily an educational video, and I'm trying to get this channel back to being healthy. It's kind of fallen on the wayside a little bit just for me not posting for like the whole month. I need to get back into it here. But funny how that you got to feed that algorithm, man, or it dies on you. Which whatever, it doesn't matter. But I am trying to keep the channel going. Hey, here's the thing I will say about the gear stuff, and I'm plugged straight into the amp, of course. That's with the volume barely up, right? I got some kind of, there is a little tube socket buzzing. I got to get that looked at. Tell you, yeah, that's just with the volume up a little bit. It really cleans up nice and has a nice sound. I was going to say, if you're out there trying to find a guitar, and I was at Gruen's the other day, Vince Gill came in and we had a nice talk, and we were talking about all these guitars and just feeling the weights and what really makes a good guitar, tuning up, staying in tune, playing comfortably. Does it make you want to, is it responsive? Does it have the woody tone? Does it, and I'm not name dropping, by the way. This is just another day in Nashville. It was a great hang. To thank Vince for coming out the other night and just to see him and hang with George Gruen and a couple younger cats that were there, Young Tom and those guys, and played a couple really great 1948 D28s that were fantastic. Anyway, I had to get a couple instruments looked at, but anyway, I was going to tell you. Oh, Zach Brown gave me this guitar. I was going to tell you guys, man, Zach Brown gave me this Gretsch. It's a custom shop. And I went and had a guitar hang with him out at his place not too long ago. And he goes, man, you got a Gretsch right now? And I went, no, I never really had a good one. He goes, man, take this. And I said, dude, I can't take your guitar. He goes, no, I insist. And so I ended up with this, man. Thank you so much, brother. That's a really generous gift. And it's a really cool looking and really good sounding guitar. I'll do a video with that sometime soon. But I can't remember where I was going with that. I had a point there and can't remember. Oh, we were talking about the guitars and stuff, and just, man, when you pick up a guitar or a pedal or an amp or whatever it is, if you have to talk yourself into it, it ain't the right one. You should pick up that guitar and not be able to put it down. If you plug into an amp and you have to, adjust a bunch of knobs to try to get it to sound good, that ain't the one. Plug in, throw up some settings, some middle, put everything on 5 or start everything in the middle. If it sounds great from the first couple notes, it's a good one. If it's not, it ain't gonna happen, man. Trust me, I've learned this the hard way, buying amps and, buying amps that sound great in the music store, then you take them to the gig and they don't cut it. You gotta really try stuff out. And so just remember that if you have to talk yourself into it, it ain't the right one. You should pick that guitar up and not be able to, and you should not be able to put it down. You don't want to, if you continue to play it and you're like, man, I just want to keep playing this thing, it's inspiring, then that's the one. But I swear to you, if you have to mess with something too much to try to get a sound out of it, that ain't the one, because it ain't ever going to happen. It should sound great in the first couple seconds of you picking it up. It should play great. It should do everything. But anyway, guys, just this is going to be a way too long of a video, and no extra charge for mistakes. I appreciate you guys. You know who you are. I'm going to go out and try to salvage some sunshine here. Daylight savings time is upon us. Not ideal, but I guess we just need to get up earlier. Is that going to happen? I don't know. You tell me. But hey, guys, thanks a million. Appreciate you being here. Check out the links below. I've made it really easy to contribute to the tip jug virtually, which really helps me stay inspired to keep coming up here and helping you guys for free. If you feel inspired to take a personal private lesson and you want to dig deeper in this and tailor it to your needs, then of course that's always an option. That helps me make a living and continue to spread the love. All right, guys, thanks a million. We'll see you soon. All right, cheers.